all of a sudden a fiery preacher wake up one day and say God is not real? How all of a sudden a prayer coordinator wake up one day, prayer become a challenge? How all of a sudden a sister in the fellowship that we knew that she was the one that we used to hold our hands to pray, wake up and she cannot pray again? The answer is nothing. Because iniquity abound, her love for God was cold. And when her love for God was cold, God cannot be transcribed into our DNA. One of the greatest things we must guard in the days of revival, beyond our prayer life, beyond our wisdom in knowledge in God, is our genuine love for God. Because when that genuine love for God begins to die, by default, you bring yourself out of the confines of God and you believe that God does not exist. One of the things that made that lady begin to doubt, that want to now begin to chill with the big boys, was nothing. She was doubting her love for God. She has attended fellowship. She has attended NAIRA. She has attended all the fellowship according to her. But the time came, she cannot understand how a God that claimed to love her suddenly allowed her to fail. And now because she felt that she had carryovers, 4 carryovers, she looked for solution and found love in a place where it's not supposed. May you not find love in the wrong place. You see, all those people that come to tell you they love you and you think they do is a very big fat lie. See, you can never have a person that loves you more than the one that can point you to Jesus. You can never have a better friend like the one that will point you to Jesus. Anybody telling you they love you and they can't point you to Jesus is a trap in disguise. There are only 2 kingdoms on the earth, the kingdom of light and the kingdom of darkness. Nobody is your enemy. You see, there is so much unity in the kingdom of darkness that they work together to fulfill an agenda. In the kingdom of light, we divide ourselves so bad and we think we are doing God a favor. When the devil is advancing and everybody come and they begin to talk against the lady, only one man will come and say, can we pray for the revival? Why? In the days your neighbor begin to backslide, they don't need to talk about them, they need to pray for them. Yes, she's no longer praying. He's no longer praying. What are you doing about their lives? Do you know you are supposed to be responsible for them? Many of you, God has put you upon this campus to be mentors to others, but you can't even guard yourself, talk less of others. There are some of you that people came and they met you, they begged you, teach me to pray, help me, guide me in these spiritual matters. You cannot be consistent in helping them, and now they backslide and you are blaming them. In the days that men fail, it is left to us to weep and cry, because their failure is our disadvantage. When a man backslide, do you think God is happy? It's the devil that is happy. There is no kingdom of light that get happy at the fall of anyone. While we were on campus, there were many people that we trained. I know many of them that after result came out, after every result, somebody must backslide. Check fellowship and see. After every semester result, somebody will be offended by God and feel that just because God did not give him certain kind of GP, God does not love him. But the love that God has for you has nothing to do with whether money is in your bank account, whether you have a house, whether you have a car, whether you have a girlfriend, whether you have a GP. It doesn't matter, because God does not necessarily need those things to make you who you are. But the devil will come to present to you a lie, as he appeared unto them in the Garden of Eden and begin to let them know how that what God told them was a lie. How comes? His plan was to sow iniquity into their heart so that their love for God can wax cold. What makes them access God and fellowship with him was because they love him. It's not because they want to build a prayer life. It's not even because they want to build wisdom. See, teach people how to pray and don't teach them how they should love God. They will wake up one day and become the most proud and arrogant people. And the time will come, what they are looking for, they will never get it. Teach people the way of knowledge and see them argue on Facebook every day, and yet again they are carnal people. When a man does not understand the love of God, a day he can make one mistake and kill himself. I have seen believer, I have seen somebody that only by mistake watch pornography and wake up and say it's not possible, he wants to kill himself. When you don't understand the economy of the love of God, you can't access the grace of God. The first requirement for you to walk with God is not your prayer life, neither even your wisdom and knowledge. It's because you understand there is a love that brought you to an inner chamber. Whether you like it or not, all of us began from iniquity into righteousness, and we are sustained by the economy of the love of God. That love of God that you see is not a criteria for you to live anyhow, but it has the ability to compel you back to God. How can you come to a God that does not love you? Do you know that if you don't truly love me, there are things I can't commit to you? I can't be trust. I cannot trust. There are many people that you felt they are backslided, but let me tell you, they can no longer find love in the fellowship. The brotherhood are fighting them, the sisterhood are fighting them, the fatherhood, the motherhood, all the hood are fighting them. When they come close to everybody is their enemy. There are people here, you may be sitting together, but I'm telling you the truth, if they allow you now, you will slap each other. Then if you come to that point, why will you not go to the club where men are drinking and they are smoking, and yet again they love each other? How many of us here, if your brother needs 10 naira and you have 15 naira, you give him 10 naira? How many of us here, with all the tongues and all the knowledge we claim to have, you will want to maintain your roommate next semester? Because why we need revival is because the love of many has waxed cold, not because their prayer life has gone down. There are people that their prayer life is stable. In fact, they are changing syllables in tongues, but they are the most carnal people you can ever encounter. Revival is holistic. It's not only knowledge or prayer life. No, your character, your genuinity of the love of God can make you shut down your tongues. How many of us still speak in tongues and we are thieves and armed robbers? How many of us still speak in tongues, yet again we are in cultists? I know many people that are still in cultists, they are also in the same fellowship with you. How many of us still speak in tongues, yet again we are masturbators, we are pornographers, yet again we sleep around, yet again we host ladies in our house? Let's tell ourselves the truth. This revival may not be for us to increase our speaking in tongues. It's to check our genuinity of our love for God, because iniquity is abounding. Devil is transcribing himself into us. Our DNA is being corrupted and we may not know. One day you wake up and discover you are backslide, not because you have stopped praying, but because your love for God has waxed cold. There is a restoration of the flame and the fire of God, not to increase your prayer grace again. No, it's to bring you closer to God, so that you can value the genuinity of the sacrifice of God upon your life in the working of Jesus as one who must love you. Because many of us are not even guaranteed of our love for God, neither our love towards Him. There is a revival coming, but before we speak about the revival, we must checkmate ourselves.